Rowdy, how are you today? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. I'm riding solo today, so it's just me. You're having a hell of a month. 362, OPS well over 900. Was there one key to the turnaround, Rowdy? Something that happened, or was it just kind of working your way through it and you figure it's going to get better eventually?
I mean, you could say there was a lot of things. I mean, I think, but ultimately it was just kind of thinking like, hey, I need to do what I need to do. I tried a couple of different things and they weren't really working, and it was like, let's go back to what got me to the big leagues when I was young. Let's go back to doing all that kind of stuff. And, it kind of brought that confidence even higher and, allowed me to start having some good at-bats and hitting the ball hard consistently. But, I think the faith in my staff, my teammates always have my back, my teammates being there for me at low points, it was huge. It's huge to always have support from your guys that you show up with every day. So, I can't thank them enough, and it's been great.
How would you describe it when you say, you needed to do what got you to the big leagues? How would you describe that, your approach at the plate? What did you actually go back to?
Well, I went to hitting with a toe tap, and it just wasn't comfortable to me. Wasn't something that I was used to, so I kind of just said, screw it. Like, go back to hitting with a leg kick. Let's go back to doing what I did when I was young. I don't know really how to describe it, but just do what I did that got me to the big leagues. Just go up there and say, if he throws it over the plate, like, I got to put a good swing on it and find the barrel and hit it hard.
It's interesting. I just took up golf like 3 years ago, and I had somebody tell me that recently. I had 18 different people tell me what to do on a drive, and then all of a sudden I just said, you know what, I'm going to do what I first started doing, and then confidence kicked in. And that's a weird thing. Like you just said, you almost can't describe it, but when you're confident, something starts to happen, and then you just go with it. Even in pro sports, Rowdy, it's confidence is something that you almost can't quantify, but when you have it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think guys can be confident every day they show up to the clubhouse, every day they show up to the field, but be able to translate it onto the field is a different thing. So, I think success breeds confidence. Confidence breeds success. So, I think there's times where you ride the wave and you're just hoping that the wave never ends, when you're playing good. And then there's times you're riding the wave and you're like, it just constantly keeps crashing down on you. So, eventually you just got to go in there with no fear and just go in and screw it, man. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, we're going to build on it. But if it's bad, we're going to flush it and turn to the next one and keep focusing on what's ahead of me. So, it's stuff like that you step in the box and have that mindset. So, like I said, my teammates and my staff were awesome during those tough times. I tried everything I can to be, respectful for the jersey and respectful for the, putting on a Pittsburgh Pirates uniform. But, I was letting them down quite a bit. So, it's just nice to be heading in the right direction right now. And, we're playing some good ball, so that's always good too.
Rowdy Tellez joining us on the show here. I think your story the other day and your story in general with this little guy from Canada is really cool and very inspiring. Xander Brown. Tell us about how that started, Rowdy. And it seemed like you hit a home run for him the other day. It was just great.
Yeah, he came to Milwaukee when the Blue Jays were playing us in 2022. He had a sign and stuff, and so I went out there and hung out with him, signed the sign, and he asked for a homer for his birthday. I ended up hitting 2 that day. And then I don't remember if I did it last year. He came last year. I don't remember if I hit a home run or not, but he wanted me to hit 3 yesterday or 2 days ago. And I said, we got to start with 1 first. And, we got 1 in there. And, it's just really cool. It's special because, I don't think a lot of people understand we're normal people too. We interact with people, but, a lot of people look up to us, whether it's kids or adults or, family members. There's always somebody that's looking up to you. So I think I put in perspective, like, yeah, I'm an athlete, but I'm also a normal person. And it means a lot for guys like like Xander, when people they look up to take time out of their day to go say hi and hang out. And, I brought him in the dugout, and I've talked to him numerous times. I talked to him in Toronto when we were up there this year, and, he just makes me laugh, So it also brings some sort of peace when you're away from your family and you're on the road and you're playing and doing all this stuff. So, it's always good to have those interactions.
Speaking of home runs and bunches, I've talked to baseball players, power hitters who feel like the first step is, you start getting the ball in play, the average gets up, and then the home runs start to come. Has that been your experience in the big leagues, Rowdy? And do you feel like that's the next piece of this, is that more homers are coming?
I don't know. I'm again just focusing on one pitch in every at bat, and when that pitch happens, focusing on the next one or little things like that. I'm just trying to help the team win, put together good at bats, drive in runners, move runners over. So for me, it's not about hitting the home runs and stuff. I just want to be a positive impact on the team on and off the field. But I can't lie to you and say it wouldn't be nice to hit some more home runs.
What's this season been like, Rowdy? It's had so many ups and downs. The booing, you endured that for a while. Those seem to have turned to cheers. But what was it like to go through all of this? It's been kind of a tumultuous first half of a season here in Pittsburgh.
Like I said, we're playing some good baseball. We're going to play a good stretch right now, so we're going to try and come in here into Atlanta and take one game at a time. But for me personally, it's part of it. It happened. I didn't play well. I was struggling in the plate, and it was warranted. And like I said, I tried everything I could to be the better player. Things weren't really working for me, going my way until as of late. So, my job to go out and show up every day, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, whether it's good or bad. I still have to put on the uniform and go. And I wish I could have brought more. I wish I could have been better for the fan base earlier, but it's part of the game and it happens, and that's something I had to deal with. But like I said, I've said multiple times, it was emotional, not in a teary way, but just a big sigh of relief hitting the home run and hearing the cheers and finally bringing some respect to the P that I wear every day. So it was cool to have that, and it does mean a lot to a player when things like that happen. So I didn't take it for granted, and it was really special and something that I kind of sat there and was like, that was a good moment. That was something that was special to me as a player. So, I wish I could have been better earlier, but I'm doing my best I can now and just trying to take it day by day.
Were you surprised, Rowdy, at how the whole Bednar thing was interpreted by people? It seemed like your intent was simply to defend a teammate, but maybe the words you used came off in a way that people around here took offense to. How did that whole thing settle with you, and were you surprised at how it all went down and was interpreted?
Again, it's just I've always been a player that has had, I want to be there for my teammates, and I think that I didn't handle that properly, and that was my fault. So I just hope that they understand that there was no animosity towards it, and I was just trying to keep my teammate his hopes high, keep his positive vibes up. Everybody, they did the same for me when I was struggling. They had my back in the clubhouse, and stuff like that. They kept my hopes high. So it's the same thing. We all go through this grind of a long season, and we're all going to have ups and we're all going to have downs. So, it's a brotherhood. All the cliche stuff of it's a brotherhood and everybody has each other's back. So, that moment passed, and I learned from that moment. So, I just it happened, and I had to learn from it.
Rowdy Tellez on the Sullivan Super Service fan hotline. He's absolutely scorching here, one of the hottest hitters in the National League in June. Rowdy, outside the room, even with ownership, if you heard Bob Nutting talk the other day, it feels like it's a playoff or bust mentality. Is that the way it feels like in the clubhouse, that just that, playoffs or bust for you guys?
Well, every time you show up to spring training, everybody has the common goal of the World Series. So I would say, yeah, we got to make it to the playoffs first before we win the World Series. But I think being with some of the veterans and having a younger side of the team, a lot of us that have played in the playoffs and been there have also said, there's nothing better than getting into the playoffs. It's kind of like that, kind of get addicted to it. You always want to come back. So, but with that being said, you got to take it day by day. You can't make it to the playoffs at game 82 or 81 or whatever we're at. So we got to just take it day by day, win the battle every day. And when you look up at the end of the year, hopefully we're in there in the mix of playing some playoff ball because, that's a special time. And I know the fan base wants that. I know the fan base deserves it, and we're going to do everything we can to bring that to them.
And it feels like if you guys can find a way there, the top of your rotation, the guys you have there, it's a different breed, playoff baseball, right? If you have those horses, it feels like you guys can make a lot of noise once you get there.
Yeah, and we do. We have a really good rotation. Obviously with the young guns, Mitch is having an incredible year again. Bailey's been throwing well. We're having Martin come back. Louie's been awesome. So the whole bullpen's been helping us out. So I think, you do have a really good advantage when you do have a healthy staff and a healthy whole rotation. So if we can do that, we should be in a good spot. But, it takes 26 guys to get there. And, we all need to be pulling on the same side of the rope to get there, and hopefully we can do that.
What do you make of Skeens so far, Rowdy? You've been around for a little while. It feels like he's way older than he is. What do you make of him personality-wise and stuff-wise so far?
I've always said when people have asked me about Paul that it's kind of like the intangibles. You watch him walk in the clubhouse on a start day or just in any day in general. He knows what he's doing. He has a routine. He's comfortable. He's confident. He comes in and you hear those things as a fan and you kind of wonder what it does, what all that entitles. But he's a pro, and it's pretty cool to watch with a guy that is that young come in and understand what his role is going to be and know how to handle it. Jones is the same way. Jones is another professional. So I think that really shows that these guys have asked the right questions, learned from the right people, and have built those relationships with other teammates and other players and other staff that have allowed them to excel at a young age.
Couple more questions here for Rowdy Tellez, Pirates first baseman. I want to talk about defense for a minute, Rowdy. And as the season's gone on, just observing you, it feels like you're a really sort of calm, soft-handed defender that if I were a fellow infielder, I would have confidence in you over at first. How much pride do you take in your defense? It feels like the game goes nice and slow for you defensively. You have a very calm demeanor about you.
You try and slow the game down as much as I can on defense. When I first signed out of high school, I was really bad defensively, and I worked my tail off to be better. And I still make mistakes. I still struggle. I still make some bad reads. But I'm trying my best every day to be out there and be calm. But, I take a big pride in being around the bag, having my infielders be confident no matter what they can do, no matter how they want to throw the ball, I can keep it in front of me and pick it. I always tell guys I can't jump very well. Or I'd be playing basketball. So if you throw it down low, I got a good chance of picking it and making the play. But, when you have an infield like ours, it's really good. You got a Gold Glover at third. You got O'Neill with arguably the best arm in baseball at short, and Tree and Gonzo, really good defenders also. When they throw the ball in your chest, it's easy, and that's what they do. So we just have a really good infield, and that makes it easier for me too.
Well, Rowdy, I appreciate you taking the time. It feels like this has been a bit of a wild ride so far, but it feels like you've really handled everything with grace and with a team-first attitude, and it's turning around. So thanks again, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely. Rowdy Tellez, Pirates first baseman.